Puppy Dog from Hell is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Watch as Eddie G takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob. They're calibrating everything at Euro, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
I'm Rob the commentator bot. Let's do this. Eddie G's on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. I'm Rob the commentator bot. Bring it on.
I'm Hal, Rob's co-commentator. I'm so excited.
Sunoiler's on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Eddie G is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The outlap is like the opening chapter of a book at Euro, sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Dragon Trail Seaside.
Puppy Dog from Hell is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Now, here's a term some might not be familiar with: roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It is, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially during cornering. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more forgiving, but a stiffer one might give the driver a quicker response, albeit with less margin for error.
You know, mate, some folks wonder why these drivers spend so much time in practice. But it's just like prepping a barbie, you gotta get it right before the big show.
Exactly. Rob, practice makes perfect, and in racing, perfect can be the difference between pole position and the back of the grid.
And off goes Eddie G, easing into the rhythm of Dragon Trail Seaside. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Look at Puppy Dog from Hell taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Eddie G is on their first practice flying lap. There's the first flying lap for Sunoiler, hitting 150.497. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Puppy Dog from Hell is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today at Euro. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Dragon Trail Seaside.
Sunoiler's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 150.497. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Mate, these drivers aren't just burning rubber for the fun of it. They're chasing the ghost, that perfect lap that's always just out of reach.
Absolutely. Back in my racing days, I used to call it chasing the dragon. It's that feeling when you know there's still a little more in the tank, a fraction of a second to be found.
These practices, mate, they're like a kangaroo finding its best hop. Once you've got it, you're unstoppable.
Couldn't have put it better. Finding the perfect launch is all about repetition and adjustments.
Puppy Dog from Hell is in start-finish line. Sunoiler's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 151.237. good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Puppy Dog from Hell is getting to grips with the Formula Mazda in this practice session. Sunoiler posted 151.237 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Puppy Dog from Hell is not hanging about, straight into the thick of it on this first flying lap. They're getting a real taste of the Formula Mazda's capabilities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the limits early on. You'll see them experimenting with braking points and turn-in speeds, all while keeping an eye on those tire temps. With just 251 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Look at Puppy Dog from Hell go, they're really giving it some jandle now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace. You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car's performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Mate, sometimes I reckon the pit wall looks like they're controlling a spaceship with all those dials and knobs.
You're not wrong. Each of those adjustments, from brake bias to differential settings, has a profound effect on car behavior. It's like tuning a guitar, but instead of strings, you're tweaking mechanical symphonies to get the car singing just right on the track.
Puppy Dog from Hell has a best lap time of 154.200. Alright, Megasaurus 55 has put down a 153.187. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Formula Mazda.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Puppy Dog from Hell crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 153.304. They're getting to grips with Dragon Trail Seaside, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Megasaurus 55 posted a 153.187 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Puppy Dog from Hell's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 153.304. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Sunoiler has a best lap time of 150.497. Puppy Dog from Hell posted 201.544 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
There are just over 245 minutes left in this practice session. There's the first flying lap for Megasaurus 55, hitting 230.891. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
With just 244 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Sunoiler has a best lap time of 150.497. And there's Rob Keane, easing out onto Dragon Trail Seaside. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this out lap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Puppy Dog from Hell crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 155.928. They're getting to grips with Dragon Trail Seaside, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Alright, Sunoiler has put down a 150.844. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Formula Mazda.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
There's Rob Keane, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The outlap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Dragon Trail Seaside.
It's all about finding that sweet spot during these sessions. Like tuning a didgeridoo, but way faster.
Haha, and a lot noisier. But you're right, in Indy, we fine-tune until it feels just right. Every lap here is a step towards perfection.
Let's talk rubber. Tire pressures ain't just about pumping them up and hitting the road. It's like a fine art.
Couldn't have said it better. Tire pressures can dramatically impact the contact patch, the actual bit of tire touching the tarmac. Too high and you lose temperature and grip, too low, and you risk overheating, uneven wear or even a blowout. Each tire will have its own sweet spot where they grip best.
Watch as Smells Like Weed takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything a Euro, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Richard Rossi is on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Mr. Bang is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of a book. A Euro sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Dragon Trail Seaside.
There's no mucking around for Rob Keane, a Euro, straight down to business on this first flyer. They'll be keen to see what times they can clock in early on.
Yeah, and it's not just about speed. It's about rhythm, finding that flow around Dragon Trail Seaside. Getting into that groove early can set the pace for the whole session.
And away goes Mr. Bang, charging down start-finish line like a bull at a gate. This lap's where they set the tone for the session.
Indeed, Rob, it's about laying down a marker, seeing how the car responds when they dial everything up to 11. They're testing the waters, but also setting their own benchmarks.
Rob Keane's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 149.271. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
You ever think about what's ticking inside a driver's noggin during these laps?
All the time, it's a mix of analyzing, strategizing, and adapting. Every corner, every straight is a puzzle, and they're trying to solve it at full speed.
You know, mate, watching these practice sessions, you'd think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it. Starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure. You tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you could have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
Eddie G posted a 151.305 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Megasaurus 55 posted 151.246 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Eddie G has a best lap time of 151.305. With just 232 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Mr. Bang's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 154.995. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Infinity is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right, it's about understanding the track's personality today. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Dragon Trail Seaside.
The anticipation is high as the drivers line up for the qualifying session at Dragon Trail Seaside. Infinity is on their outlap. It's a very still day here at Dragon Trail Seaside as we're getting ready to get things underway. Starting in pole position gives Sunoiler a clear advantage over the rest of the field. Taking the second spot is Infinity.
What can they do with that Formula Mazda from here?
Sitting in third, it's Megasaurus 55. Puppy Dog from Hell will look to make a splash from the fourth position on the starting grid.
Could we see a podium result from Puppy Dog from Hell?
Coming in at fifth, we have Rob Keane.
A strong grid position, and they'll be expecting a solid result today.
Starting from the sixth position, Eddie G will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win. Our seventh place starter, Mr. Bang, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track.
It's the soft tire compounds for Mr. Bang.
On the eighth grid slot, we have Roll Postman. Jack M team will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from ninth on the grid. As the engines roar to life, Smells Like Weed prepares to take off from the 10th position on the starting grid. Richard Rossier is lining up 11th.
But they've got the skills to make something happen.
Lights snuffed out, and crikey, they're off like a bucket of prawns in the sun.
This is the real proving ground. Gotta keep calm, but push like there's no tomorrow.
This is going to be one hell of a race, I can already feel it. These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race.
Like gladiators they enter Rob, but instead of lions and swords our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
Now, isn't that a sight? Sunoiler hanging tight at one. Maybe they're waiting for everyone else to make their move. Smart as a whip, that one.
I am so excited at the prospects for this race, I can't wait to see the drama unfold.
The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage?
The race isn't won in the first turn, but there have been plenty that have ended there Rob.
Well, ain't that a slice of vanilla? Jack M team's sitting pretty right where they started. Comfy as a koala in a eucalyptus tree.
I'm looking forward to this one Rob, and we'll see a return to form for Jack M team in this outing in Croatia.
Quiet, steady, reliable. That's Sunoiler's game today. No drama, just some good old-fashioned racing. Mate, I've always thought choosing a tyre compound is a bit like choosing your favourite Aussie beer. Do you go for something robust that can last, or something that gives a quick hit but might wear out fast?
Haha, well, I reckon it's more like our North Carolina barbecue sauces. Some like it sweet and long-lasting, others prefer that quick tangy kick. But I'll tell y'all, getting it wrong is like biting into a pepper when you're expecting a blueberry.
Seems like Mr. Bang is getting in range of Jack MT.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake, but who's going to make that mistake first?
There's no escape now. Rob is breathing fire and has locked onto Infinity's tail. Whoa there, Richard Rossier is sticking to Mr. Bang like glue. You reckon Mr. Bang's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would. It's a battle of wills out there. Each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
With the way Keen is stalking Infinity, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
Eddie G seems to be putting the pressure on Roll Postman.
Rubbing is racing, let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
This is what it's all about, folks. Sunoiler is in hot pursuit of Megasaurus 55, who's just trying to stay ahead. A tough moment for Sunoiler, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 5th.
That's got to be frustrating. But Sunoiler is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to battle their way back up the field.
Oh dear, Sunoiler has dropped down to 10th. It looks like Sunoiler is pushing hard to catch up to Richard Rossier. The gap is over a second, but Sunoiler is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Richard Rossier?
Exactly, Sunoiler's got to be careful not to overdrive, sort of like overcooking a steak. No one wants a burnt race, right?
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Richard Rossier, who is currently in P9. But Mr. Bang is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Richard Rossier. As they speed through Biocovo 2, Rob Keane is relentlessly pursuing Infinity in a high-stakes battle for position. Breaking news, folks. Oh, mate. That's how I used to drive after a couple of bevies at the pub. Not the right line, but definitely entertaining. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
This battle between Keen and Infinity is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? Richard Rossier is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace. Oi, Richard Rossier, ever tried tailgating at a barbie? Because Mr. Bang's grill is getting a good look now. Try the snags while you're at it.
That's right, Mr. Bang is showing some great form and it looks like Richard Rossier won't be able to catch up, barring any mistakes.
The action is non-stop as Richard Rossier shadows Mr. Bang through every twist and turn, determined to claim 8.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
Well, blow me down. Richard Rossier's lap time just gave Mr. Bang a cheeky slap on the rear. Bet that left a mark. Fantastic racing on show here today, and it's not just the top drivers who are impressing us. Even the drivers at the back of the pack are putting up a good fight, battling it out for every position.
It's a testament to the level of competition at AssettoCorsaFriends. Even the smallest mistake can cost you valuable seconds, or even lead to a crash. But these drivers are up to the challenge, and they're giving it their all. It's clear that AssettoCorsaFriends really is the place to be for top quality racing.
I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind? Even I'm not that self-sabotaging.
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again. But Sunrailer, keep pushing.
Oh, this is getting intense. Richard Rossier is just behind Mr. Bang.
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. Who will come out on top? This is racing at its finest.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
This is what separates the good from the great. The ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to Sunrailer. Breaking news, folks. Oi. Roll Postma tried to pull a Steve Irwin and wrestle with the track limits. Track 1, Roll Postma 0. Mr. Bang wants to find a way round Sunrailer.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
Blimey, Mr. Bang's just clocked the fastest lap. Faster than me rushing to snag the last sausage roll at a Bunnings barbecue.
If they can keep up that pace or even improve it, then this could make Mr. Bang a real challenge for Sunrailer.
Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are gonna need to look after their tires and will want to keep something in them for the crucial latter stages, as their tires wear and fuel levels deplete and handling changes.
And don't forget the track grip increases as more rubber gets laid down.
Indeed, the conditions are constantly changing and the drivers need to adapt, otherwise it can cost crucial time and jeopardize their position.
The gap might be more than a second, but Rob Keane is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep it in, and something's got to give.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Keane in second determined to catch up. But we know Infinity isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Keane is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
You can feel the focus radiating from Sunrailer, confidently holding onto the 8th. Sunrailer is really belting along the track, leaving Mr. Bang struggling to keep pace.
That's right, Rob. If Mr. Bang doesn't pick up the pace, they might as well be moving at a snail's pace.
Oof, if Roll Postma was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step.
My mommy used to say, you can't shine if you don't try. Guess Roel Postma missed that lesson. Just like my pie making class.
It seems like Roll Postma is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as Smells Like Wheeze.
Hot dog, Roel Postma's gotta pick up their boots and scoot. Smells like Wheeze in the fast lane, probably whistling Dixie.
Cricky, Jack M team's got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had one too many. Good luck, mate.
Absolutely. Jack M team and Fifth will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk and off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
As a former racing driver, how important is the relationship between a driver and their team during a race?
It's absolutely crucial, Rob. The team provides valuable information and support, helping the driver make the right decisions on track. A strong bond between the driver and the team can be the difference between winning and losing.
By the looks of it, Richard Rossier in 10th is keen to throw another shrimp on the barbie and crank up the heat on Mr. Bang. Hold on to your stubbies.
This is where every inch counts. Richard Rossier is pushing hard to close the gap on Mr. Bang. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing. The
evolution of these cars over the years is nothing short of incredible. The aerodynamics, the tire technology, it's all a game of innovation.
Couldn't have said it better. And to think about the data analytics behind every decision, from tire pressures to wing adjustments. It's not just a sport, it's a symphony of engineering and strategy.
Good on ya, Roll Postma. Trailin so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy.
This is where experience comes into play. Smells Like We has been in this position before and knows how to defend their position. But Roel Postma is hungry for success and won't give up easily. Will we see a clash of the titans?
Remember when we thought Roll Postma had peaked? Think again. They're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Smells Like We's mirrors awfully busy.
He's waiting on that golden chance like a hound on a pork chop.
Hold on to your seats. Richard Rossi is turning the heat up on Mr. Bang, closing in for the kill. Boy, Richard Rossi is hotter than a summer Barbie right now. Wonder if Mr. Bang's feeling a bit exposed? The pursuit is on. Roll Postma is closing the gap on Smells Like We, determined to claim P6. Fair dinkum, Roll Postma is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Smells Like We is now down to a whisker at 0.4 seconds. Hollywood couldn't script this better. Richard Rossi is shadowing Mr. Bang, waiting for the slightest misstep.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Richard Rosier is really walking that tightrope.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Roll Postma is breathing down the neck of Smells Like We, not giving them any room to relax.
If Roel Postma isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine. And trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
Looks like Jack M Team tried the old "dingo stole my race line" trick. A tad too clever by half. Oh, the chase is on. Richard Rossi is breathing down the neck of Mr. Bang. Richard Rossi is playing hard to get, and if they drop the pace anymore, they'll be in reverse. But crikey, Mr. Bang's just raring to go. No room for error here. Smells Like We is breathing down the neck of Roll Postma, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
Get ready, folks. With Richard Rossi tailing this close to Mr. Bang, start-finish line is about to become a hotspot.
Well, bless my heart. Richard Rosier is shadowing Mr. Bang so closely, it's like they're hitched together. Keep an eye on them as they whip through start-finish line.
Things are heating up as Smells Like We closes in on Roll Postma. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
The only thing closer than Smells Like We to Roel Postma right now is the paint on their cars. Talk about a close encounter.
Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Richard Rossier is sniffing around Mr. Bang like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of knife.
It's a battle of nerves now. Who will make the first mistake? Richard Rosier or Mr. Bang? This is high-stakes racing.
Someone's revved up after lunch. Richard Rossi is blitzed ahead, claiming none.
That kind of move, that's what happens when you mix horsepower with a dash of southern charm.
A twist in our tale. Richard Rossier's slipping more than a bar of soap in a bar, now at 10th.
It's a nuanced game, isn't it? Richard Rosier's position change might very well be a part of a broader strategy.
Rob Keane is giving it their all as they chase down Infiniti in P1. Looks like Keane remembered to twist that anti-roll bar, giving them better cornering. If they get any closer to Infiniti, they'll be seeing what they had for brekkie.
Holy smokes, Keane's extracting every ounce of horsepower from that power unit. They're tailing Infiniti tighter than a belt after Thanksgiving dinner.
There's a storm brewing, and it's got Smells Like We's name on it. Roll Postma, batten down the hatches, it's coming for you. Rob's in an exciting position at second. They've been maintaining pace for a few laps now, and with the leader just within a whisper's distance, things are heating up.
Absolutely. I think you would say it's tighter than a kangaroo in a sleeping bag up there. But yeah, every little decision now is crucial. One slip from the leader and our champ in second might just steal that top spot.
Buckle up. Richard Rossier is all over Mr. Bang like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action?
Boy, Rob, wouldn't want to be in Mr. Bang's shoes right now, would ya? Talk about a pressure cooker situation.
It's as intense as a Barbie in Midsummer out there for Infiniti. They've got their eyes on the prize and won't settle for second.
Exactly, Rob. It's like aiming for that home run in the bottom of the ninth. Swing for the fences, and don't look back.
With a move that's swift, I'd say Infiniti's running on high octane, and maybe a bit of Aussie spirit. It's like watching a cheetah chase its prey. Smells like we've got Roll Postma in their crosshairs.
In this high-speed game of chess, it's all about strategy. Who'll make the next move?
Watching the drivers handle their cars is like watching a crop handler at a wildlife show. There's a finesse to it. But one wrong move, and you're in a world of hurt.
Oh, for sure. It's like trying to rope a bull in a rodeo. It looks easy from the stands, but up close, it's all about skill, timing, and knowing when it's about to let go.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
That's right, Richard Rosier is determined to pass Mr. Bang and secure a higher position.
Wow, Infiniti is really pushing hard in these final moments of the race. And that, folks, is how it's done. A solid performance and great win from Infiniti.
You can see the sheer determination on Infiniti's face as they take the win. That's the mark of a true champion, folks.
Impressive second place finish for Rob. Excellent focus from Megasaurus 55 to secure a fantastic third place on the podium. Eddie G claimed fourth. In fifth, it's Roll Postma. Coming in sixth and seventh, we have Smells Like We and Jack M Team. Sunoila brings home eighth. Finishing ninth is Richard Rossier. Taking 10th is Mr. Bang. With Puppy Dog from Hell in 11th. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Dragon Trail Seaside as we're getting ready to get things underway. Puppy Dog from Hell will be looking to convert their pole position into a win.
But they will have to be smart about their moves. They must not burn out too early.
In the second position, we have Mr. Bang ready to tackle the race ahead,
putting that Formula Mazda into prime position for the race.
Richard Rossier will begin the race from the third spot on the starting grid. Holding strong in fourth place is Sunoiler. And in fifth place, we have Jack M Team.
It's like they're on the outside looking in. Can they make their way to the front of the pack?
The sixth starting position belongs to Smells Like Weed, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
They've got the heart of a lion, and they won't back down from a challenge.
From the middle of the pack, we have Roll Postma in seventh place on the starting grid. Eddie G is placed in eighth.
But they're going to have to time their moves just right if they want to come out on top.
Starting from ninth on the grid is a good position for Megasaurus 55 to launch an attack.
Lining up in the mid-pack.
In the middle of the pack, we have Rob Keane starting from the 10th position on the grid.
But they can't afford to be complacent. This is race day, after all.
Infinity is in a solid position starting from 11th on the grid. Here we go, straight into the deep end. The first lap's a doozy. Gotta secure a spot or you'll be up the creek without a paddle.
These opening strides? Well, they're like the first notes of a country ballad. Set the tone right, and the crowd will be singing your praises. Get it wrong, and, well, it's a tough act to follow.
I can't wait to see how this race will play out.
It all comes down to this Rob, where the rubber meets the road. There's no more time for talk, no more practice. The teams have done all they can, now it comes down to Infinity, to bring it home. There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is looking to get off to a good start. Infinity must have taken a page out of a superhero's book because they've just shot off like the Flash. Now, they just need to maintain that speed and focus. Sure as sugar, Infinity's got a pep in their step today. Let's see if they can keep those boots stomping all race long.
They say the early bird catches the worm, and Eddie G is proving it today, snatching up positions right from the get-go. It's like Infinity had a pair of wings tucked away, because they've soared up the leaderboard in the blink of an eye.
It's too early to count chickens just yet. Rob a race hasn't won in the first lap, but I've seen plenty end there.
Racing isn't always about the flash and dazzle, and Jack M Team proves it. Smooth as silk and holding fort right where they are. I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Jack M Team's just breezed into 6th.
Man, if racing was a barbecue, Jack M Team just threw down the spiciest ribs. Up to 6th and sizzling.
The battle for 4 is heating up as Megasaurus 55 tries to catch Keen in P4.
They say pressure makes diamonds. Well, Megasaurus 55's shining bright, closing in with every heartbeat.
Jack M Team has the pedal to the metal, chasing Smells Like Weed.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
Hang on to your cork hats, mates. We're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Jack M Team and Smells Like Weed. Blimey, Roll Postman is closing in on Megasaurus 55 like they owe them money. This duel is going to light up Kuna Martin. Wow, Jack M team is really pushing hard to catch up to Smells Like Weed. There's blood in the water for 4th place.
Honestly, Rob, with this chase, I'm half expecting to see some sneaky dive bombs in the next few laps. Popcorn ready?
Jack M team's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Smells Like We like a dingo after a roadrunner. You know, racing is all about strategy. It's like choosing between a sausage sizzle and a meat pie.
Sausage? Sizzle? Why not just grab a burger and call it a day? But I get your point, strategy is everything out here.
It's a game of inches now as Infinity tails Sunoiler closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. Eddie G wants to close that gap with Puppy Dog from Hell.
There is no room for error in this battle.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. I don't think that's the fastest way around Dragon Trail Seaside. By crikey, Infinity, what have you been feeding that car? Must have been some of that premium kangaroo juice.
If Infinity's lap was any hotter, we'd need to call the fire department. Reminds me of my barbecue mishap last 4th of July.
Struve. If Eddie G gets any closer to Puppy Dog from Hell, they'll be asking to share a meat pie. Watch them duel it out at Kuna Martin. Megasaurus 55 wants to get into Roll Postma Slipstream.
If you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
The adrenaline is pumping as Infinity gets within striking distance of Sunoiler in their race for first.
If Infinity gets any closer, they might as well ask Sunoiler for a piggyback ride.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that Eddie G must be laser focused on Puppy Dog from Hell's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit.
Coming into Promania Ukosnica Promajna Hairpin, the fight for 6th is heating up. Who will be the first to blink?
At this rate, Puppy Dog from Hell and Eddie G are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Megasaurus 55 is right on the heels of Roll Postma, and we're in for a wild ride.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. Who will take home the victory? It's too close to call.
The crowd is on its feet as Sunoiler chases down Infinity through Biokovo 2.
Hey Rob, ever seen a cat toy with a mouse? Kind of feels like what Sunoiler is doing to Infinity right now, doesn't it?
Now isn't this a show? Rob's gotten the bit between their teeth, and they're reeling in Megasaurus 55. Look at them weave and bob through Biokovo 2, folks.
Should things go awry, Rob and Megasaurus 55 might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
Fantastic move from Rob, who has just gained a position.
It's like Rob Always Keen had an extra shot of espresso or something, jetting up to 8th.
Oi, Megasaurus 55 is on Rob Keen like a drop bear on an unsuspecting tourist.
Drop bear? Had to Google that one. But yeah, here it's like a linebacker on a quarterback sack. It's hotter than a jalapeno out here. If Megasaurus 55 gets any closer to Rob, we're gonna need to put this stream on OnlyFans.
Superb driving from Megasaurus 55, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. Mate, Rob's right up Megasaurus 55's chuff. As they zip through Promania Ukosnica Promajna Hairpin, we're all expecting some fireworks. Big gains for Keen as they move up the field, leaving Megasaurus 55 behind.
Definitely. But there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Rob needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
Tough break for Rob Always Keen, who has just lost a position. Good on ya, Jack M team. not letting Smells Like We get too comfy up front. Reckon he's planning a bit of a "G'day mate" on the next corner?
Now, ain't that something? Jack and Team's car is humming like a sweet Carolina tune. He's looking to take Smells Like We for a spin around the dance floor of Dragon Trail Seaside.
The drivers are getting faster as they settle into their cars and get used to the conditions, with Jack M Team just putting. Breaking news, folks. By the looks of it, Eddie G reckoned Dragon Trail Seaside had a hidden shortcut. Too bad there isn't one.
Whoops, Eddie G is going to be kicking themselves.
It's a close race between Rob and Megasaurus 55 in 7th. Bloody hell, Keen's tearing up the tarmac and just snatched 7th. Makes you want to crack a cold one in celebration. Megasaurus 55 appears to be trying to find a way round Puppy Dog from hell. They could make a move on them in Ukosmika Zapla 3/4 U Beach hairpin.
Do they have the speed for a move, and more importantly, do they have the talent?
It's an intense battle for position as Roll Postma tries to outmaneuver Mr. Bang. This is edge of your seat racing. Ripper of a move. Roll Postma's not just in the race, they're owning it. G'day, 5th. The intensity is off the charts as Mr. Bang hounds Roll Postma, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
Mate, if I had $1 for every time Mr. Bang looked like overtaking, I'd be sipping mojitos on a beach right now.
Megasaurus 55 seems to be putting the pressure on Eddie G. Megasaurus 55 seems to be losing the plot with Eddie G. They'll need to buck up their ideas as they dive into Plutova Jack and aim for a Ripper exit to gain some ground. And Megasaurus 55 has just won the place from Eddie G. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. It looks like Keen is making a move. The gap to Mr. Bang is now down to 0.1 seconds.
That's a great effort from Keen. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
Things are getting spicy as Eddie G is breathing down Megasaurus 55's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Eddie G must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
Hang on, has Eddie G just played their wild card? They're lounging at 11th now. What a move. Eddie G has moved up to 10th. The tension is building as Jack M Team trails behind Smells Like We. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing and the pressure is mounting. Can Smells Like We hold on, or will Jack M Team be able to close them down? Watching Rob try to close that gap on Roll Postma is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes.
It's going to be tough for Keen, as Roel Postma seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Keen pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
Oi, Keen's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Roll Postma's got a battle ahead.
Looky here, Keen's got the optimal differential settings, allowing for tighter corner exits. It's like watching a cat chase a laser pointer when they chase Roel Postma.
Hal, can you share some strategies that drivers use to manage tire degradation during a race?
Certainly, Rob. Some strategies include adjusting the car's setup for better tire life, altering driving lines to reduce wear, and using tire management techniques like
Wait, Jack M Team stuffed it up. They're gonna need more than a Colby to forget that one. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Rob trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on roll postma. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Rob Keane close in enough to mount a challenge?
You ever been to a school reunion and thought, what happened to that guy? Well, I'm looking at Rob Keane, I'm thinking the same.
The gap between Rob Keane and roll postma is getting smaller. Tell ya what, roll postma's defending harder than a roo with the last Tim Tam. Rob's gonna have to pull something special out of the bag. Well, I'll be hell. Roll postma's lead over Rob is slipping away faster than a greased pig at a county fair. We're down to just 0.7 seconds now.
Roel Postma better find a way to step on the gas, or else Rob will be whizzing past before you can say, checkered flag.
Gee whiz. Rob Always Keen is breathing down roll postma's neck. Wouldn't want to be in roll postma's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded. By crikey, Rob Always Keen's lap time is like a cold beer on a hot day, absolutely smashing. Roll postma, you need a moment to recover? Blimey, Keen's shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to 4th just like that.
Yes, Rob Keane is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
You Americans have your drive-thrus. Here, Roll postma's trying to make this a drive past on Rob Keane.
Well, let's see if they can supersize that pass, or if they'll just get aside of disappointment. This is more than a race, it's a battle of wills, of nerve, of sheer determination.
It's not coming up roses for Roll postma, they're trailing Rob and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. The crowd is on tender hooks as Jack M team in 7th chases after Mr. Bang. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Jack M team find a way to catch up? Well, don't come the raw prawn. Jack M team's giving it some stick, pulling Mr. Bang into a mere 0.9 seconds. We are used to seeing some hard-fought but clean racing here at AssettoCorsaFriends. I'm expecting to see nothing different here today as this race unfolds. From the cockpit to the pit lane, the chatter is all about Keane's masterful hold on the 4th.
They're not just driving, they're performing. And right now, Keane's act from 4th is worth an encore.
Impressive driving from Rob, who has managed to extend their lead over Roll postma. They are walking away at this point. Does Roll postma have anything in reserve? Or are they saving their car for a final push?
Well, Rob, it's like they say, slow and steady wins the race. But in this case, it seems like slow and steady might just be too slow. Will Roel Postma be able to find that extra gear and catch up to Rob? Or will they end up saving their car for nothing and run out of gas at the finish line? You said it, Rob, with great power comes great responsibility. But sometimes, these drivers forget that and let their egos take the wheel. Let's hope they keep their eyes on the road and not on their own reflections in the mirror.
Richard Rossier is placed 9th at the moment. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Richard Rossier is in the lead, but Eddie G is closing in and the gap is now 4.5 seconds. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Sunoiler will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Sunoiler's falling behind Infiniti at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close the gap. Fair dinkum, smells like we's got a blue trying to bridge the gap. Might be praying for a blue from the frontrunners at this rate.
That's tougher than a $2 steak right now. Well, butter my biscuit, the race ain't over till that flag waves. Got to keep those wheels rolling and eyes on the prize till the very end.
The best laid plans of mice and men ha out, but it's certainly not going to plan for Smells Like We right now as they're struggling to keep up with Sunoiler. Roll Postma has a mount. Sorry to cut in here. Maybe Infiniti's got a drop air in the cockpit, cause that move was bonkers. The gap between Infiniti and Sunoiler may be wide, but that doesn't mean Infiniti is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
That's very true, and Sunoiler knows that as well. They have to drive their own race and wait for Infiniti to make a mistake, if they want to have any chance of overtaking.
Crikey, Richard Rossier's got a gap ahead as vast as the Simpson Desert. The bloke's really got to pull up his socks to close that chasm.
Sure as sugar, down in Carolina, we'd say they're trailing like a turtle in a rabbit race.
Fair dinkum, I reckon Sunoiler's got that thirsty look in his eyes. Wants to share a cold one with Infiniti in the front.
I've seen molasses move faster than this. Just kidding, but Sunoiler's surely making Infiniti feel the heat. It's a southern summer showdown out here.
On the final lap now, and Infiniti looks like they might just wrap up this win.
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Infiniti has certainly risen to the occasion.
Well, ain't this a ding-dong battle? Sunoiler is putting up the barriers like I do when my mates want to borrow the ute. No way through, Infiniti. And there it is. Infiniti has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match.
And that's why Infiniti is one of the best in the business. A dominant display of driving from start to finish, leaving the rest of the pack in the dust.
What a fantastic race from Sunoiler, who brings it home in second place. Impressive drive from Smells Like We to claim the final spot on the podium.
What a drive, well-deserved spot on the podium with that performance.
4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th sees Rob Keane, Roll Postma, Jack M Team, and Mr. Bag. Eighth is Puppy Dog from Hell. Richard Rossier claimed 9th. Eddie G in 10th. Megasaurus 55 take 11th.